Yes, good morning, my friends. Welcome back to episode number 100. Yeah, today is the day on a Friday. Episode number 100. Welcome back. Good to see y'all. Hope you're doing well. Let's have another epic stream. Let's make it the best stream of the week, the last stream of the week. And let's end the week strong right now at the moment. Yeah, let's talk about everything that we need to talk about. Goldie is back in the range, of course. So we have to look at where we are, what we're doing, and what the next logical steps are. Yeah, okay. Perfect. Welcome back. And let's see where we have with us in the chat today. Let me have a sneak peek right now. There we go. Yo, Stozy. Hey, man. How are you doing? Good to see you. We have Diego, my friend. How are you? Paul. Vitan. Hey, Jess. Yes, good to see you, my friend. What else do we have here that I know? GMBS. Yes. How you doing? Way Wonder. Good morning, my friend. Derek. How are you doing, man? Yuga. Mr. Rockstar. Okay. All right, Rockstar. Let's make the party then. Okay. Let's see what gold is up to. Condition is not optimal, but anyways, we'll talk about it. We'll go over it. Okay. Yo! Welcome back on a beautiful Friday. How are you guys doing? Yes, all good, everything okay? Was a good stream yesterday. Nice little comeback. Was nice, was good, clean, everything in our favor, perfect setup. What about today though? Where do we stand? Well, let's talk about it. Number one, we have to understand that the higher time frame is still showing us the same thing as we probably already did before. And that is that we still haven't taken out that freaking low. We can take out that low right here. We can break below it. We can close below it. Every time we do, we come back up again. Gold does not want to break these lows here, even though itself, you can see that overall, a lot more selling pressure is getting created right now. You see that? All the sellers are coming into market. So there's a lot of selling pressure. That's for sure. However, gold does not want to break it. However, supply, yes, we are. We're making new areas of supply right now as well. So yeah, the resistance is getting real, okay? We cannot deny that. We can see that these zones are getting created right here. We have another one where we are getting rejected at. So yeah, at this moment in time, we have to be a bit more cautious with longing now because yeah, you can just tell that the selling pressure is accumulating, okay? It's coming to fruition here. So maybe it indeed is going to happen. Maybe we indeed have to revisit that level that we talked about eventually, which is the 4,500, I guess, right? The level that we talked about, somewhere around that area, right? That 4,500 demand zone that we talked about. I would not be surprised if we would have to get there at some point in time. But right now, you can see that we're still kind of holding up here. But yeah, anyways, let's talk about it right now. At the moment, the gold is slowly bleeding, okay? We are getting rejected from the value area low right now of current day. And as long as we're staying below it, I mean, yeah, there is no reason to look for longs. The only logical move that I could think about maybe is to short still, but it is a bit aggressive to be honest. At the very low towards the previous daily very low. It's a very small move. If you are interested in that, that is like an, I don't know, it's like an 80 pip move. Okay, it's very small. It's like a scalp. Because of the fact that we might be dropping towards that point of interest, the value area low of yesterday. Keep in mind that on the 4-hour time frame as well, we have support here. We're developing support here. We have this area, okay? And I think this is where we want to trade towards to right now at the moment, where these sellers yesterday got absorbed quite heavily in the nighttime or in the New York session, let's put it this way. We had a lot of selling at the bottom and then that push up, and I was looking at sells there and I was like, nope, not at the VWAP today. And luckily we did not, because it actually came out higher. It was actually a good decision to not do anything and then wait for price to react. But it's trying to retrace into that level, okay? And this is something I think to really look at. So let me do this on futures too, so we have the same prices, just making sure everything is good. Yeah, you see it's already different, right? I was already looking at it on the futures chart. A little bit of different price level. But the 33 is that level indeed, right? That is the level that we're trying to see if you can trade towards that. Yeah, it's a quick scalp, man, I think. I think that's the only move I think I can find here already. Let me see if I can, if everything is correct. Yeah, I mean, BSC is moving down. Oh, look at that. Something has shifted right now at the moment. Do you see that? Wow. Do you see what happened? The POC just flipped. Okay. Wow. Okay, you know what that means? Let me know in the chat. What does that mean? Okay, because we're looking at shorts. I was at least thinking about shorting it down towards the zone. And then the POC flipped. Okay. It flipped. It went down. Okay, and we closed them above it. That means that, yeah, there is not enough. Like, imagine this, right? So throughout the whole day, the candle opens up. It creates pretty much 2 hours of volume right now at the moment, right? 2.5 hours. And then what we can kind of see now is that the point of control is starting to move down. So that means that gold has a really hard time in breaking structure. Okay, so it kind of invalidated our shorts right now. I know it's dropping, but it kind of invalidated our shorts right here. At this current moment, towards that previous daily very area low level, because yeah, of the fact that most of the volume is pushing down, but it's not really pushing. Okay, I mean now it is, but it's not really doing a lot here. So we'll see what happens. Maybe we just have to simply be patient and wait for price to get down towards the very area low, and then pay attention to what happens there instead, right? I think that might be even better, knowing that the valuation of the dollar is almost undervalued. We're almost undervalued, by the way, right here. Okay, so we are seeing that already on the 5 minute, also already undervalued. I think that it's better to wait now and wait for price to get to the 81. If we get to the 81, I will pay attention to what happens there, and predominantly this area. Okay, so this is that level. Why? This was yesterday's candle. Okay, a lot of volume was traded there, as you guys can see. A lot of sellers got stuck in their position right there at the bottom. So we mark out the zone, and I think that is the exact zone that aligns with this level, which is the value area low of yesterday. Okay, now how do you mark that out? The value area low of yesterday, you mark out the volume profile. Okay, you use, if you're completely new, okay, this is the way you usually do it. Okay, you go to settings, you go to events, you go to session breaks, you click on that, then you have these two lines popping up right there. Okay, you mark out the volume profile from the left to the right, the fixed range volume profile, which you find right there, and then you take it from the open of yesterday to the close of yesterday, and then you have a couple of levels. Now, number one, what happened today? Okay, we are trading inside of the value area of yesterday. Okay, that is extremely important context, just so you know. Why? Because we're not trading outside of it. We're trading inside of where yesterday the most volume was traded, inside of 70% of the volume area. If we would break out of that, the bigger moves tends to happen, or the larger manipulation tends to come to fruition as well here. Okay, at this case, we're in it. So what happened? You opened the market here. You see that? We opened the market. Let me zoom in a little bit more. We opened the market, right? And then while we opened the market right there, okay, what you can see is the following. Let me just turn this off for a second. There we go. What you can see is the following. While we opened the market, what level did we tap into? We tapped into the point of control. Do you see that? The point of control, the red line. That is the level where yesterday the most volume was traded. And you could simply see that that was the level that we today could not break. Okay, in the open, we couldn't break that level. And that means that sellers are just trying to push price down. So a logical target then naturally becomes the value area low. Okay, because that is the bottom of the value area. Okay, where 70% of the volume has been traded. We care about it much more than the lows or the highs above it. We care about the blue box within it. Okay, and that might seem a logical target. Now, it could mean that if the market is still indecisive, and if there are still tremendous amount of trapped participators at the bottom, which we have a lot of absorption right here, right? A lot of, look at these 4-hour candles, by the way, like these huge bottom wicks there. Hourly, a lot of selling at the bottom right there. Okay, people went short thinking it's the breakout. It wasn't the breakout, right? It was the reversal. So price will then get there, and that aligns with our very low level. And then what you're trying to look for is a manipulation. So like kind of like a fake out, okay, a retracement inside of the value area, and then kind of like a W formation or some sort of reversal pattern, which then allows us to trade back towards the highs again, right? Something like that is something I would be looking at right now at the moment to see if we could formulate something like that instead, okay? And this is what happens when you open inside of the value area and you break below. A logical target is this, but also a lot of manipulation happens around that area as well. So maybe it's better to wait for the manipulation to happen and then try to trade the reversal instead then, okay? Initially, I was interested in looking to short it, but yeah, when the value area shifts too much to the downside, you can see it's really struggling to break it right now. But if it goes, it goes. It was like a 70 pip move. It's like not a huge move anyways. But let's see. if this is in the point of interest that we can wait for, the value area POY, value area low, value area low of yesterday. All right, boom. Yeah, that's kind of the level that we look for. Okay, I think it's important to wait for that right here. If you guys are new to this, right, you can read it in the book right now as well, about the previous daily, right? You have it right there, the previous day or the daily volume profile, right? You can learn about this right there. And it pretty much shows you exactly why, how it works, what the reason is and everything, right? So you have actually a good understanding of why this is so extremely important if you trade within the range of yesterday, okay? So you can actually learn about this right there. And also you can actually see how you trade it when you break out of the range, right? Depending on the trend or the reversal or the range or the counter trend or whatever it is. So it's actually all in this book that I've written for you right there. I have also a physical format. I always wanted to release this, but again, then you have to pay for it. And I don't want you to pay for it because it's free information, okay? So just download the book right here. And then you should have exactly what you need right there, okay? A good foundation, ebook, sorry. Okay. That could be a good start. That could be a good start, okay? Yes. Okay, value area, low. What do you want to do there? What do you want to do there? Anything in particular around this area? Let's see. Is the trend changing to bearish? Well, yeah, it's definitely not looking super... I mean, the thing is, right? If you see this, right? And you think, okay, we are quote-unquote super bearish. To be really honest, this doesn't look super bearish to me, right? Let's be really honest with you guys. I mean, yes, obviously right now, right, we're getting rejected from supply, etc., etc. We are in like higher type of resistance, but at the same time, the way we're coming down here, right, the way we're kind of trending downward, this is not what we call bearish, right? We have not seen an expansion. We have not seen something strong, like a strong impulse to the downside. If you look at how we have been pushing up right now, okay, right there, we kind of created something like that. We broke out again, and now we're creating something, in my opinion, a bit similar to that, right? It's not really what we call a reversal in terms of a strong, bearish trend reversal. It's more of a retracement right now, in my opinion, towards a higher time frame demand, which is actually sitting a bit lower right there. So yeah, it definitely depends. It definitely really depends on what we are, what we will be looking for the moment we reach that demand zone and how we actually get there, right? How we actually get there. Do we get there with a huge expansion? Okay, that means we have probably huge supply created there. Or are we just slowly creeping towards a daily demand zone right there inside of a big fat box, right? Tapping into this and then whoop, back up again, right? That is kind of the situation. I mean, keep in mind that the dollar is, of course, pulling back, okay, but we'll find major resistance. And when I say major resistance sitting right there, okay? The dollar will find major resistance as well. If the dollar has any signs of getting rejected here at this area, this is on the weekly time frame, by the way, okay? If the dollar gets rejected there, that's gonna benefit gold. This is gonna benefit gold right there, okay? So I would not call gold bearish at the moment. I think we are in resistance, yes. I think we have a hard time breaking resistance. I think that it invites a lot of sellers to step into the market at resistance. And I think we're pulling back to it. Yeah, as far as we're looking at gold right now, it just doesn't look like we're like super, super weak. Even though if you look at the week itself, we created a push up on a Monday, Tuesday we came down, Wednesday we came down, Thursday we kind of down, we recovered. Friday, it seems right now that we're kind of neutral. Okay. Yeah. So it's more of a bearish range. a bearish range is how we can call it, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, let's watch this level. The very low. Did you watch the GTA 6 trailer? No. Is there a new trailer out? I'm not really okay, I will look at that later. Huge trailer, really. Okay. On Netflix? Really? Hey, Lorenzo, see you on Sunday for the meeting. Yes, my friend. We're going to have a call on a Sunday. I'm looking forward to this. Yes, yes. Looking forward to it, my friend. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, so today I can't guarantee a setup like a really like a good like trade setup. I'm not going to lie. This is an Asian session. But we'll see, right? If we tap into the very low and we see any signs of a impulse or reaction that we like or bounce or whatever, I think that longs are still the most relevant for like a nice little retracement. Okay, staying inside of the value area of yesterday, or for example, if you tap into the value area low, you stay there for a while and you break above the POC, that is also a level that I would say yes, I would be longing too, and I would target the value high of today. Something like that. So that there is definitely some room, but we just have to be patient right now for price to either reach this or to break back above the red line. Okay. Anyways, we don't want to mess it up this week. Okay, because we are still up on our account right now. It's not much at this week specifically, but it's about the consistency that matters right now. Right? The consistency is really what matters for me right now at the moment. Also in times like these where we are in like higher time and resistance, but the trend itself is still bullish. This is where it's so easy to get trapped, to ruin your account, etc. So in my opinion, if we are up and we have done what we had to do, and let's keep it this way this week, and let's not mess it all up at the last day of the week, right? That would be disappointing. So let's really focus on that. Keeping our account at our high, okay? Our all-time high. That's what we want to do here. It's much more about account management, portfolio management also, than it's just about trading. I think this is just as important in the right condition, right? It depends on what kind of condition you're trading. If we are clearly in a trend, you know how super aggressive we are. Like, we know that. Completely different story. If you guys could do one thing though, I would highly appreciate it. You know, I never asked for this, by the way, but if you guys can like this channel and you like the educational content and you like the trades that we take, etc., I would really appreciate it if you could like this video. I think we have around 1,300 people watching right now and 150 likes. You know what I mean? So I would really appreciate that if you guys could do that. And I never ask for it, but sometimes, you know, once a week, I have to remind you. I have to remind you of the situation. You know what I mean? Thank you. It would be really nice if you talked about more what's happening at the live chart than assuming things. Okay, let's go over, talk about what we are seeing right now at this moment. Okay, right now we are getting rejected from the daily point of control. Okay, if you mark out the point of control of today, then you can see that we're getting rejected at it. But at the same time, there is an absorption taking place at the low volume node from yesterday already. You see that? So you can see that the market's already struggling with coming down. That's the main reason why we didn't went short, because sellers are having a harder time to push price even lower at this current moment in time. Okay, at the 4 hour, we are in a major 4 hour zone where buyers stepped in aggressively, where buyers took control, where we shoot up. Again, we are retesting that level right now as of what we speak. We're trading below the VWAP. Okay, the VWAP is sitting right there. We are still below it. That means that overall, according to the daily session VWAP, right, the volume weighted average pricing, we're seeing that we're still below the average. That means that sellers by default are still in control. So that has not been shifting yet officially right there. Okay, so when you put these things together and you put these right where they need to be, then you understand that we are still bearish, but we have a harder time to push price down right now at this current moment. And therefore, we're waiting for price to reach the value area low, at least to get to an extreme level, because at a level of extreme, we can actually start observing how price then responds and if the opportunities become relevant. Okay, if we want to enter a trade today, we want to enter at some sort of extreme. Okay, where either a manipulation takes place or where it's like a quick sweep or whatever the case may be. That, I think, provides the best opportunities, because otherwise a trade will feel very forced. Okay, this is a great example, right? Imagine going short here because we want to trade with the trend, and then you see something like this. This is what we call an absorption, right? And we're trying to avoid getting trapped today. Okay, that is the exact reason why we are looking at that, because of the fact that you cannot neglect the fact that we're risking or we're tapping inside of an area like that. Okay, the market is very trappy today. I warn you for it. Okay, at least this session. But don't fall for that right away. Okay, don't force any unnecessary trades, because that's what's gonna happen, right? You're gonna think you're in profit, and then out of nowhere the candle shoots up like crazy. And this is something that we're kind of trying to see in advance right now and trying to avoid. Okay, this is part of our account management. This is exactly part of what we're trying to achieve right now on our account, right? Making sure that we are fully aware of all of that at this current moment. And you know, we have been tracking 50 trades live on stream right now, right? We grew an account from around 6K to 24.6 with 17.6K profit in the last 2 months, right? Slow and steady. Well, slow and steady, I mean, it's more than it's 400%, right? Anyways, but yeah, we're trying to stay as consistent as possible. So that means that when we lose in August, we try to recover from it, and we try to be patient. We don't try to overtrade, over leverage, and force anything that we can't handle, because our goal is to bring our account up and grow it to the most important level. Okay, and that is the 100K. Zillow, volume profile on CFD chart, why not analyze in GC1? You know, the gold chart doesn't have real volume. Yeah, people say this all the time, but this is all theory, right? People kind of talk about this all the time, like, oh, you should never use the Wanda chart, etc., etc. The thing is, it totally depends, right? I've been using this for years myself. Okay, I have Orderflow right here. Like, I have the DX feeds right here. So this is the real Orderflow data. So, you know, obviously there's a combination of both. But no, for me, Wanda has been actually doing extremely well. A lot of volume is traded on Wanda, by the way. Sample size wise, a lot of volume has been traded. It's one of the biggest brokers in the world. Okay, so yeah, we actually broke back above the point of control. That is interesting. Let's go to the VWAP. Are we trying to reclaim this? How do you know that the market is trapping? This is just the condition. This is just the condition that we are seeing right now. The main reason why this is what the market loves to do, right? When we look at the higher time frame, this is the 3-month candle. Okay, the 3-month candle. And if you look at the 3-month candle right now, look at that. We are at the quarterly open of Q2. Okay, the quarterly open of Q2, the second quarter of the year, or the closure of the first quarter of the year. So logically speaking, right, we will find resistance there. Okay, oh, that makes sense. We will find resistance there at that area. Because of the fact that we are at the quarterly open here. If in 1 month and 3 days we can close above that candle high, okay, this is when Q3 actually closes, right? The end of September. Then, in my opinion, we will be trading towards the all-time highs in Q4, Q1, right? So right now, at the moment, we are in that resistance, and we know that we are because we're getting rejected at it right here. You see that? So while we're at that resistance right there, we're trying to squeeze down. But then at the same time, right, this overall push right here is pretty much giving us the indication that we're not reversing yet. We're not bearish yet. So yes, we are in higher type of resistance, but at the same time, the trend is still bullish. We're still pushing up higher and higher. We're still trying to get there, right? An expansion, or balance session, or balance range, and expansion, quote unquote balance range. So this is not looking bearish yet, okay? And this is why the market is indecisive here in this range, because it's the higher time frame versus the intraday trend, right? And this is where most people lose their money, by the way, where most people go wrong. Most people force trades and make bad mistakes, and then you know, trade things they should have been trading just because they want to be in the market. And yeah, mess up. Okay, so for today, what we're then looking for is, okay, we opened then inside of the range of yesterday, right? We really have to take this down. We cannot be bearish, we cannot be bearish. We have to be neutral every day, okay? And as you can see that we are now, we're getting rejected. The point of control started to push down, all right? So the point of control is starting to move downwards, okay? The problem here is that if the point of control moves down, right, and you close back above that, that buyers are taking control again. And look at that. If you went short now, then it would have been nasty, very nasty, okay? Yeah. It will be a very nice situation. It's unfortunate that we didn't reach the very low. Wow, what a move though. Oh, what an absolute reversal. Like, immediately back to the very high, immediately taking out the highs right there. Right away going for it. We have one closure now above the VWAP. Most buyers stepped in here. Actually, this is how we traded yesterday, by the way. Do you remember that? Yesterday we took a long. We had that manipulation to the downside. We took out the daily lows and then we reversed up and then we took a long here, remember? And we exited literally at the top, actually yesterday. Yesterday's trade was actually a perfect example of entering the perfect entry and exiting the perfect level and not being greedy and knowing where to exit and actually exiting. Because a lot of people, when they see this, they think, oh, gold is going to go to 4,700. Nope. It went to that level and it got rejected after that. And it was the high of the day. So we We opened there and we closed it at the high of the day yesterday. And it was actually the right move. It was the right move to close it. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying, right? In a ranging market, in a ranging condition, right? When the market is rangy, yeah, taking profits is a must. Like closing the trade at a certain point is a must for me. I'm not gonna trill my stop. I'm not gonna trying to see where it could take me. No, it's just that is the level, and I'm out, right? And I was happy the whole day because money has been made in the morning. And the mission was completed. So what data feed do you use? Can you check these? Asset name, symbol, which exchange broker Lorenzo uses, Wanda. Yeah, so the data feed on futures is DX feed. Okay, that's just the GC1. All right. The continuous though, the continuous contract, because yeah. Yeah, price reacted from these buyers, immediately got rejected from those sellers. Literally in between these two zones. Look at that. Market doesn't know what it wants today, for sure. Yeah, low volume note, yeah. Yeah. A PSC moved up again. In the middle now. Is this rejection at the VWAP? I think so, depending on where we close here. This 15-minute candle. Yeah, you're getting rejected from that low volume node of today, which is right here. I think a lot of sellers will pop in here or trying to short it. If this candle breaks the high again, I will stay out of the market today. I'm not joking. We'll keep it a short stream today. Yeah, 81. Let me mark it out at least. Can you show the difference between the futures and the Wanda? Yeah, right now futures shows it slightly different. I think, yeah. Low volume node, still sitting there, so it's the same level. The very low is the point of control, pretty much. Futures right here on the footprint chart, we are pretty much inside of a... we are retesting the VWAP here. Thanks for the free ebook. No worries, you received it? I hope you did. Sometimes people don't receive it. I don't know why. Some people do, or most people do, some don't. Maybe it gets blocked or it's like seen as spam or something like that, right? Yeah. This is why we didn't short it, guys. I hope you understand. It looks tempting, right? When you saw the candle breaking down, closing below. If you would short there, you would have been... yeah, how can I say it nicely? Screwed. Can you tell why low volume node acts like support? Because it's acting like an inefficiency. The best way to explain it is the following. There are two different market participators in this game. You have passive participators and aggressive participators. In order to fulfill one contract on the futures market, you need one passive and one aggressive participator. Okay. Sometimes there is an increase of a strong passive participator, right? A strong passive absorption, we call that. Now, that could cause an inefficiency or a gap, or what we call a low volume node, where there is a lot more passive activity than aggressive activity. Okay, people that are pressing market. So for example, sometimes it kind of squeezes, pushes up, creates a low volume node. And due to that, due to the remaining unfilled orders sitting there, passive, it can act as support or as a hidden reversal zone or a support and resistance level, etc., etc. Okay. So anyways, according to what we see now in the VWAP, we are actually close above it, right? We didn't close below the VWAP after that push down. We closed above it. We actually now are testing the VWAP as support again. But clearly, I hope you understand that the market is set us up here in this session to trap us. Like really. In the best way possible. Yeah. I'm not in a trade now. No, I'm really trying to think about I'm trying to be smart today, and really thinking, is it really worth getting into a trade now? Because you can tell how the market is moving intuitively. Also, I've seen it before, right? It's not something that I decide here as well. I don't see any playbook setups either, right? The setups according to my playbooks, right? The 6 playbook setups, I don't see it. I'm just strictly looking at like the order flow now and some levels. So that's also already a warning signal. But at least I helped you out not shorting this. Hopefully I did. Because that was a no-go. That was a no-go right there. I see a lot of people on YouTube started to trade like yours. Yeah, a lot of people use the volume profile now. True. It is true. We started it, I think, yeah, on the stream, I think, years ago. Years ago. Before it became popular. When I was using it, it was only old men working on the London exchange using it. Yeah. But I love it. I love the transition. I like how everyone is using it. I think it's a good thing. It makes sense. Why? It was a matter of time. It was a matter of time. What do you think of a trades by side? Do you trust his work? Do you think he's dodgy and more or less micro scamming? You know what the problem is, man? I don't know any unregulated broker, okay, who pays out $100 million on an account, or even half that amount of money in their safe or in their vault or whatever. So even if you want to withdraw that money, there is no way in hell you can do that. Like, I don't see any unregulated broker allowing you to pay out that amount of money. So it doesn't structurally, technically seem even possible that when you have that amount of money, a broker like that will be allowed to do something like that and pay it out. Okay, so I'm not even talking about him as a person or as a trader or whatever the case may be. I'm just looking at the technicals behind the structure of an account, unlike MetaTrader 5 and like whatever, right? An unregulated broker, etc., etc., etc. It's not going to be easy, and especially not for an American, by the way. Especially not for an American, okay? Do take that in account. Yeah, because this is a whole other world as well. You know, there were a lot of issues, by the way, with unregulated brokers in the United States and using MetaTrader 5. That's why most of those Americans moved to futures, right? Because of the fact that there was no other way for them. So yeah. Make your own conclusion, right? In terms of knowledge, yeah, I mean, I don't think it's that bad, right? I've looked at it. I don't think it's that bad. I think that there is some good information. So maybe you should just focus on that and not necessarily on all the bullshit around it, right? Bro, why Asian session used to rock London and New York? Yeah, because we did 400% in 2 months. Strictly trading Asian session. Yeah. Pretty much that's why. Like, that's the only reason why. Asian session has been working. Yeah, not every day, of course. Right? There are always days where it's a mess, etc. and the conditions are shifting. But, you know, the people that come here on a daily basis, that understand what we're doing, what we're trying to achieve here, that are committed, that are here on a daily basis, and they see the whole journey, they look at the bigger picture. Yeah, you can tell why Asian session is Asian session, right? Asian session in general has been doing really well. Yeah. Calm Vibrant says, I'm using a few unregulated brokers which always pay out. I mean, me too, right? But like, There is a difference between paying out thousands of dollars or hundreds of millions of dollars. Lizzie, someone is using your live now on TikTok. You are on a white polo now doing a buy trade. Really? I would not be surprised. Too many fake accounts, unfortunately. And then people fall for that. That's crazy. But that's probably a video of like years ago, right? It's like. You honestly blame Saad because people wouldn't talk about him otherwise, the large account. I mean, what you have to take into consideration is that why do they use these like massive trades, which are obviously fake trades, right? Obviously, there's no doubt, right? It's just to attract a bunch of people, okay, that only look at that and that only care about that, okay? Because that allows them to say, okay, oh wow, this guy made 40 million on one trade. Let me listen to him, right? So obviously it is a trick, right? Let's be honest. But I'm not here on this channel for the rest to talk about it. Like I'm gonna not talk about it anymore because it's just a waste of time. This doesn't make any difference for anyone. People just have to follow whoever they want to follow, what they feel like they want to do, who they want to follow. Like it's completely up to them, right? That's all that matters. Yo, Lorenzo, I'm holding a buy for 4572. Do you think I should hold? What do you think? 4572. Yeah, I think it's a good level to hold now because you have a couple of very important levels in between. Okay. Like every trade so far, guys, that we talked about right here has been a trap, right? When people were in the chat right now looking for sells, price shoot up. When it was like, oh, we're reversing, let's go for buys, price came down. Then it looked at sells again, yeah, price came up right here. At the moment, people committed to buys, price came down, right? So this has been the ultimate trap, the ultimate trap price action we've seen so far. Till the T, okay? Literally every time when we tapped into this, into any level, we went the other direction after that. I would hate losing money on a Friday right now. You know, messing up my account up right now, my account balance up for trades like that. Absolutely hate it. I am gonna watch this level though, the 4581. Now that we're getting there, let's just watch it. See if there's if we formulate a setup here. This is the only reason why we're looking at the the manipulation of the value area of yesterday, just like get towards the extreme levels, the highs or the lows. Right here is like right here we have the highs and right here we have the lows. Sorry, right here we have the highs, the lows, and right here we have the highs, and literally trade the extremes only in case. No, we're not in a trade right now, no. Why don't you stream at the London session? I don't like London as much as I like Asia, like in general, okay? Today is just a day where it's a mess, okay? But generally speaking, Asia is a good session. Like we have to admit that Asia is relatively speaking a good session. Like it has clean, relatively usually, right? Not always, like this week was a bit of a mess, but overall, Asia has relatively good price action. There is not much news involved, if any, right? From the United States or anything like that. It does move an X amount of pips, enough to make a good size amount of money. And it usually, and when I say usually behaves. So, yeah, the Asian session became more popular. After, I think, the war started, I think a lot of people actually moved to the Asian session. Now New York is doing better again at the current moment. But New York is not the New York it was a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Okay, let's be honest. The New York session is not the same as it was 2 years ago. Okay, and also the Asian session is not the same as it was 2 years ago. The Asian session was actually the most boring session in the world. The Asian session was usually the session where nothing happened, where it was just a range, and then the London manipulated it, and then New York made the real move. That was the Asian, that was the market 2 years ago. Okay, that has completely changed, completely shifted. Okay, it's usually the Asian sessions make a big move. London goes into a consolidation period, and then New York manipulates. Do you think it will take the liquidity of the 45? You talking about the 60? You mean right here? I was not aiming for that. I was actually aiming for the value area low. Okay. The value area low of yesterday. Yeah, because we're trading inside of it, right? So just think about it this way, right? Like if you have a ranging condition, like a ranging market like we have today, even though you think this is not a range, we're trending down today. Actually, we are in a range because this is the high of yesterday and this is the low of yesterday, right? Now, inside of that, there is a certain amount of volume traded inside the whole day yesterday, right? Certain amount of volume is traded in there. 70%. Now, that is that blue zone. That blue box. Now we opened inside of that blue box and we got rejected point of control. So at the open, right at the open, it was indeed a sell. Okay, we could potentially look for sells there. Now we're trending down and we're trading towards the value area low, right? The bottom of that box, pretty much. If we were staying within this range, within this area, then we'll probably we'll be balancing out, staying pretty much in a ranging condition today. If we leave this, okay, and we actually close below it or above it with volume, then we might make a bigger move for the rest of the day. So it really depends where we, what happens here, okay? Especially around this area. Now, what can happen here is that the market pretends it wants to go out and break out, and then it comes back in again, right? If that would happen here, I would try to buy, right? That kind of like is a level that, okay, there's a lot of manipulation happening inside today. You know, a lot of people got squeezed out of their trades here. Just now in the last hour, I can guarantee you, because it looked like it would go up and then it dropped. And then it looked like it would drop and then it went up. And then it dropped again. So now that these traders are all shaken out, let's watch what happens. So the best way to trade this, from my perspective, what I've learned is the extremes matter. Now, what are the extremes? In this case, these are our extremes. These are not always the extremes. These are the extremes, right? These two zones. Now, we're going to tap into it now. So I'm also very curious to see what happens here. How do we react there? Do we react there? Right? Do we actually react from that area? What I hope is that we range a little bit here. We don't make a move right away. We kind of range a bit. We then move the point of control will move down and we'll close above it. All right, we're there. Also futures, same level. Okay, this is the futures chart, same level. We're there now too. For the people that are trading futures, we are at that same area. Okay, we're tapping into the zone. Watch what happens right here. So it does align exactly with the previous daily very low. Any trades? No, not now, not now. We just talked about it. We talked about all the reasons why. But we are at a point of interest now. for the first time here, so it's worth trying to see what happens. Oh. Yeah, this will be interesting to watch. What do you think about falling under that 4450 level? We have a fair value gap there for our chart. Why not going there? 4 hour. You mean this low volume node? Right here. This area. Because yeah, we look at it from a different perspective. You look at that gap, I think, right? Right there. Is that what you're looking for, right? That gap? Filling that gap. Yeah, right now at the moment, what we're looking at is the very low, right? Why? Because we are in a ranging condition and we are clearly getting reacting from it. Look at that, right? Look at that. Yeah, we are doing it again. It pretends it wants to break it and then it does not break it. And it holds it. So yeah, I do see your level, by the way, at the 55. I do understand why you would mark out a level there. I would also say that would be a next level to look at. But I think we have just a level in between, and that is this one right here. Are you going to trade or just watch it? It depends, man. It really depends today. Today is one of those days where you have to be laser sharp. We have to be laser sharp. We can't mess up today. I don't want to mess up today. Number one, there's so much manipulation happening inside of this range so far. But we're holding. We're respecting the value low for now, at least. We're forming some support here. Yes, Julian, I agree, man. Yeah, yesterday we were probably in a trade 20 minutes into the stream. 10 minutes into the stream. It was very quick. But you cannot expect it to happen every day. Sajid says, I just lost 2K in previous fake out. to the downside. Oei, oei, oei. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Be careful, my friend. Yeah, so in the exit charts right here, you see that these sellers, where these sellers got trapped yesterday in New York, that is now where we tap into, right? So this is logically where we would react from. So it's not just that it's only a value area low level, it's also a level that we've been talking about. Where those sellers are trying to enter short and then filled pretty hard. Now, the longer we consolidate here, the stronger the breakout. But let's see if it holds or if it just breaks it. And most importantly is the 15-minute closures matter the most. So what are we waiting for? The only thing I would wait for now is it's tricky to sell here because of all that absorption that we saw in New York, right? You could see what happened there. So the only thing that I would say is interesting if, like, let's say you hold this level, because we're getting absorbed there again. You see this? This is the second time now, the second candle now. Let's remove this for a second. This is the second candle now, right? That actually creates a huge wick. You see that? It looks like it comes to come down, but then it does not come down, right? Kind of get absorbed here. So what I would love to see is, if price decides to respect this, and then price retraces back inside of the value area, okay, of today, it gets accepted, and most importantly, it breaks structure here, right there. Yeah, then I think we have a runner again, potentially back towards the highs, which are actually these highs right there, which is actually the value area high. It's actually this area in general, okay? It's the box. Now that is, roughly speaking, a move that makes sense, right? That I will be looking at. Yeah, no, that makes sense. That is like the only like logical way here. Why this area in particular? Now we just talked about the reasoning already, right? About why that level is so important. Why is this level so actually important? Now that is the value area of yesterday, the very low of yesterday. Right, this is the low and this is the high. So we're literally at the bottom now. I think many guys are buying now. Let's see if that's true. Yeah, well, actually, more people were selling the bottom. So it's actually true, yeah. And it's actually more more bullish. Yeah. Because I think the moment this started to drop, more people were entering sells. Now those sellers are getting absorbed. Axel, we all know that you want to make a try and you're controlling yourself. I am absolutely controlling myself, yeah. You know me so well, Axel. You know me so well. I'm really trying to control myself here. He knows me now. The very low of the previous day. All right, that's the third try, all right? The third candle that is trying to break it. You can see it right here on the MetaTrader. You can see how it's trying to, for the third time in a row right now, to break it. Second times, 2 times in a row, we got absorbed. The third one is trying to break it again. Yeah, so the only thing I would look for an entry from is if we would reclaim this level. I would target those highs right there. But we don't see it now. We just we got an absorption a little bit. We're breaking down. The 5-minute order flow indeed is something I almost never look at, because it's usually not enough for me in terms of confirmation. But yeah, we could see that more people are selling than buying here. Keep in mind, the hourly candle is also closing in like 5 minutes. We'll have an hourly candle closure. So the question is, this drop, right? Will this be the manipulation? All right, that's the first 5-minute closure we see there. The 50-minute has not closed yet. I think in today's stream already, in the last like hour, right, we saw, I think, 3 traps. Kaisana, can I hold after this bullish entry because I think today market will be on the bullish side? Please help. Yeah, just manage it, man. Manage your trades. Manage it correctly. Don't hold and hope. That's like my number one lesson. you know those trades where you get into a trade and then it's already surpassed your initial stop loss, and then you get into like a how do I say that? You get into a state of you freeze. You're pretty much frozen. You can't really do anything anymore. Right? You can't manage the trade anymore. You already moved your stop loss. It's already surpassed that, so you feel like almost stuck. You can't do anything, and it becomes hopium. You start hoping. Now, if you get to that point where you start hoping, that's when it's already over, right? That's when it's already done. You know what I mean? And I've been there in the past as well, like hoping. Yeah. Oh, the chat is on fire today, though. Holy shit, you guys are always on fire. You guys are always making me, enjoying life. That's for sure. Yeah, we definitely got the best chat here. That's 100%. There's no doubt. There's no doubt about that. You guys trust the journey. I really appreciate that, by the way. I really do. We've been really trying to be super transparent about everything and showing all the trades and everything, all the results and everything. And just, growing an account. We're 2 months in now on this account. But August has been a relatively speaking, a little bit of a roller coaster. But we are up. We are up. We made money. We are up. That's all that matters. Yeah, definitely on like a what is it? 69.6% win rate, right? 70% win rate. Okay. We can't complain, right? Can't complain. 83% in June though. That was massive. June we had an 83% win rate. That was crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I expect Q4 to be like that, to be honest. I really do. I expect the fourth quarter of the year to be like that. You are live streaming more than 4 years. Don't you get bored? No, I love it. I love the chat. I love everything about this. It became part of my life. It's what I do. It's what I like. But at some point in time, I do agree. I'll have to retire. Okay. And I'm gonna do that when I reach the 100,000. So I wanted to do one more challenge from 5. It was actually 6 because I added 1,000 more. From 6 to, but the goal was actually, the initiation was 5K to 100K. Only trading the Asian sessions. And I think once I reach that, I will seriously consider to see what we will be doing then. once we reach our target. Yeah. We started 2 months ago. We are now sitting at 24.6. After that, we'll talk. We'll talk. We'll have a conversation. We need to have a serious conversation after that. Okay, hourly candle is closed right now. We did close below the value area on the hourly though. So that is not what you want to see if you want to see a bounce, right? You want to see a, you just simply you don't want to see that. You want to see a stronger reaction. You want it to hold and respect the hourly at least. So that is something that did not happen either, right? So overall, what will we do with the 100K? I will do nothing with 100K. I will start taking 10 lot trades after that. No. Maybe 5. No, but again, we have been trading with much more. If you guys looked at the beginning of my journey, I actually traded with much more money than that. But I do like those challenges where we start with something small and we build it up. And if you can see actual progression, it's actually very nice. It's a very cool experience because it shows the reality of how it can actually be done. Because it's easier once you have a lot more money to make money, right? And to just trade less and to get your best setups done. But when you start with something small, you kind of have to show up and you have to beat the market and you have to be on top of your game. So it is a great experience. It is like a great journey. Where are we gonna head to? We're gonna head to that same level again. Yeah, I think that gold is absolutely indeed like trolling us today. Like I think that today I just didn't like the price action at all. I'm so happy that we didn't trade anything inside of this area because it just really messed up our. It would have messed up our account for sure because the way it was moving. It came up, it looked like we started to reverse, it shoot down. Then right here, it looked like it was coming down and then it shoot up. And I could see it in the chat, right? I could see price pushing down and then the chat was like sell, sell, sell. And the moment they said sell, it shoot back up. Then they said buy, buy, buy. Then it's dropping again. Then it dropped super aggressively. So... No, man, we got... I'm happy that I stayed out. I'm really happy that I stayed out here at this moment. Yeah, I watched this break back above the value area out of nowhere. Why don't you use this extend right function? Thank you, man. For the daily, makes sense. How has trading changed your life since you started? It changed everything. It changed everything. Yeah, it truly did. I think that trading truly is a reflection of who you are as a person. Okay? So if you are a person that can't sit still and that have to be in the market all the time, you most likely have that with a lot of things in life where you have a really hard time with focusing and on finishing something or on building something and following through with it, or whatever the case may be, right? Then there are guys that are extremely conservative and scared, right? But these are also the guys that are most dedicated, but they want to be extra sure about everything in life, right? So I think it tells you a lot about who you are as a person, and it allows you to discover yourself even more or better. And I think that trading does that for you. I think trading is something much deeper than us just looking at a chart and making money. It's a reflection of our soul. I could almost explain it from a spiritual standpoint of how I look at it. And I have been going through a lot of eye-openers myself. I've experienced many of those. So yeah. No, I think that trading absolutely changed my life for the better. And I'm happy that I've done that. I'm also happy that I've committed to it and stick to it, because I was definitely not the trader I was 3 years ago, 2 years ago, right? And definitely not 5 years ago, right? So I'm happy that I've committed, I've stayed committed, and I've kept developing and trying to become better. So yeah, I'm very grateful. Absolutely. No, this is definitely a level where I'm telling you guys, like, this is a level where we should not be looking to sell. Okay. Too much absorption yesterday here in New York, and we're doing it again. We're reacting from that same level. Will you continue with the private community? Yeah, 100%, of course. I'm gonna be there. Yeah, so right now, the initial plan was to wait for that reaction and to see if gold could do this. And it seems like gold wants to go back, reclaim the value area of yesterday, right? So the question is, how much volume are we pushing out? Are we pushing down with a lot of volume right now at the moment, right? You can actually see it right here. No, the volume is decreasing, okay? Now that is again a sign of a fake out, right? If the volume is decreasing, when you break a level of importance and the volume is decreasing here, right? It reduced by 50% after that closure. That is not really a good sign, right? That is not really a good sign. In terms of follow through, right? That's kind of the idea. Because you want to see more volume, right? You want to see price pushing down more aggressively. You want to see the volume increasing, not decreasing when it breaks out. It is formulating, it is using it now as resistance though. You can see it right here. So what is the only condition that I would long? Yeah, like I said before, if we do this, we would reclaim the point of control. We get accepted inside of the value area. We would bounce and we would respect it. I would look for something like this. Right, that is like the only way, and I can't believe we're faking out. We actually faked out exactly here. We actually faked out here. Can you believe that? We actually faked out at the bottom. In case on the futures, it's slightly different. Just want to make sure that you understand this right here. Okay. On futures, the volume profile is slightly off, right? Or off. It's actually, it's not off. It's just different. 4637 right there. That is that level. That means they will get you will get re-accepted inside of the value area. Okay. Off today. So when this is how you can spot a fake out, okay? You literally look at the volume here, okay? I do think you can even use the regular volume candle. I'm not sure on the 15. Yeah, well, pretty much you could do that, right? So you break down, but while you're breaking down, right, you take out a level and you break down. The volume is dropping, okay? Now, that just shows that there is no intent to bring price lower, right? There is not enough volume to follow through here. You want to see more participators entering the market when you break out, right? We don't see that. We don't see many sell stops getting activated, right? Or whatever the case may be here. So when the volume is dropping, it just increases the chances of a fake move, which then means, again, we are at an absorption level here from yesterday, that this could just be another absorption level for today. Now, why is this not a long yet? Because of the fact that if you look at the current price, we have the value area of today. Okay, we're trading outside of the value area. So we need to break back inside. So now we need to get accepted inside of the value area of today for it to be a relevant long setup, right? So pretty much exactly what we kind of, to be honest, what I actually hoped for. I hoped for that breakout. I hoped for that fake move. But now we need to see the acceptance. That is the only setup I could see that I think makes sense, that I would like in this condition. And yeah. Let the market come to us, right? Let's not chase the market down now, especially not in this condition because it's all over the place. Okay, it's all over the place. So let the market come to us. Let the market prove to us that it shows us what we want to see. And not us looking at the market from a perspective of this is what I'm seeing now. This 15-minute as well, or this 5-minute didn't open up with a bottom wick. The 50-minute didn't open up with a bottom wick. Top wick, sorry. Why are we looking to buy when we're in a downtrend? Well, to be honest, my friend, we are above the previous daily high, previous daily lows. So, in essence, we're more in a range, right? We're getting respected at it. We're just seeing that there is no follow through here to take out the lows. So, we're actually more in a ranging condition than in a downtrend right now. And at the same time, from what perspective are we in a downtrend, right? Like, look at this larger move that we're seeing here. And you can tell that the larger buys that we have experienced right now, like there is no comparison here, right? So it is very tricky, very, very tricky here. You have to trade those extremes. And this is one of those extreme levels. The value area low of yesterday. Did you invest in SpaceX? No. I think it's too early. All right, a lot of absorption right now. Second time here. Wick after wick, manipulation move, a reclaim. We're back above the value area low. How much are you up since the challenge? We are up close to, 2 months ago. 6K account, we're up close to 18K. Yeah, so we're pretty much doing that. Pretty much what we talked about. We're respecting the zone right now. It's about a reclaim. Can we reclaim? Can we reclaim this level? Can we get accepted inside of the value area? And is there then a reason for us to take longs towards the highs, number one? Or the value high, number two? It's very tempting, right, to long here and to put your stops below the lows. It's literally a 65 pip stop loss, which is like $650 to make potentially $2,500 on that account. However, the value area is a real thing, and the reclaim inside of it would give us such a much stronger confirmation. Cam Lorenzo, correct me if I'm wrong. We are currently in 1 hour supply zone. We did bounce from previously and in a low volume node on the higher time swing profile. It also failed to make a lower low. Correct. Well said. Yeah, so we broke the very low. We failed to, we saw a decrease in volume. Now, if you see a decrease in volume, you know that usually leads to fake outs, to manipulations. Okay? Now we're thinking about the next step. Okay, what is the next step? The next step is to break above this line. Why that line? Because that line, sorry, that line is the product control of today. Okay, if we trade above that, we can say, okay, buyers are back. We're inside of the value area. We're getting accepted. Then the next target is usually what we can call the value area I, which is right here. Okay, we will just be trading the range today. Now the range is clear because we are inside of the value area of yesterday. So we're getting respected there and we're getting respected here, right now. So that simply means we're just gonna do this. We're gonna ping pong. And there we go. That's a good start. Oh, gold was so nasty today, guys. Wow. So nasty today. The amount of people that got trapped today, it's just, wow. Also again here, at the bottom. Yeah, what is Kitty? Who is Kitty? Give me 1 second. Okay. At first, at the beginning of the stream or like halfway the stream here, I was like, you know what? Probably not going to be trade today. The market is a mess. I'm not going to ruin my account. We're up for the week. So why would I ruin it? Trading this condition. On a Friday, right? Now I'm like, wow, okay. So we did went to the very low. We did manipulate the lows and we did broke back above. So it's doing exactly what we wanted to do. Okay. So far, there is just one step missing. And that is the reclaim of the point of control. What about targeting the value high of yesterday first? Yesterday's value high is sitting right there. No, the value high of today. The value area high of today. I mean, it's moving with it. It's moving with the market. So yeah, it's moving with the market. It is. It is pushing down a little bit. The value high is shifting here. Same for futures. Futures also shifting. Okay, man. Last step. Last step. Can't believe it. Who would have expected that one? Hmm? The fake out today. I mean, let's be honest, it's pretty standard that this is what you usually do when you trade inside of the value area of yesterday. You wait for some sort of manipulation and then a re-acceptance, right? That is like the standard the standard setup, right? The manipulation, re-acceptance. It only results in like quick trades though. Quick scalps, no huge trades, unfortunately. But yeah. Now, for now, we're going to reject it at the point of control. You see? And pretty strong as well. If the POC rejects, I can't do anything. Yeah. That's the whole point, right? That's why we're waiting for that. That's literally why we're waiting for it. Okay. It's also the VWAP, right? The session VWAP. Keep that in mind. It's a combination of both. That's what you want to reclaim. Which is actually perfect, because that's exactly what you want. A reclaim of the VWAP. And then it's, yeah, targeting the highs. Maybe even indeed, like you said, the value area high, but that is indeed the level that we're watching here. The VWAP right here is never the same on TradingView as it is on the order flow. The order flow is always more accurate. I don't know why. The data itself, I think, is just showing that even if I would use the VWAP here on the futures chart, it is not the same. Okay, will never give me the same level here. Even if I do the close or the open or the low, it is not the same as it is on the Xau charts right there. And you can see in the Xau charts, we tap into it perfectly and we reject from it. You see that? So that's what I'm saying. If you can reclaim the VWAP, you can reclaim the point of control. The value high is the next logical target. And then we have the whole spectrum of our process completed. Because that means we've done exactly what we wanted it to see. And that is the manipulation first, a lack of volume, so a lack of follow through, a reclaim of the very low of previous day, inside of the range of yesterday, a break back above that level, a reclaim of the VWAP, long to the value high. Why use the low to VWAP? Yeah, I'm using the low because it aligns the best with the actual VWAP here on the order flow. That's the main reason. So actually, we look at this level right here on the order flow on the Xau charts, not on the TradingView chart, but it aligns. It seems to be aligning now in this session, so that's why. So yeah, we tapped into the area of sellers here on the hourly. That's why we saw that fake out here. It invited a lot of sellers to step in. Yeah, if we can close this level, that would be incredible, right? Above the 64, 4642 on futures, that would be just so good. Because if you close above that, then you close above the sellers from the hourly, the previous hourly candle. You reclaim them. You reclaim the VWAP. Buyers are back in business. Winning odds with the strategy you mentioned. I don't know exactly what the winning percentage of this exact setup is because I have many different setups. I don't have enough data on this one, to be honest with you. I have 6 setups that I know, all the data off. But this is a very, it's a very popular model actually, if you trade within a previous daily range. If you trade within the previous daily value area. It's a very popular model. I can tell you that already. And if you see the fake outs and manipulations around the value area low or high of the previous day, and you reclaim the internal then VWAP, for example, it tends to have a pretty high success rate. It's a pretty popular model. Okay, I know this for a fact. Some of my friends traded too. And, you know, we don't always see this setup, right? It's not something that happens every day. It happens once in a while. We're not always in the range of the previous day. We're not always in a balanced session. So it's just one of those setups. Ajay, Lorenzo, my chat got blocked on my other account. I never did nothing wrong. Bro, I have no idea. The moderators in the chat, you know, they're the leaders. You know, sorry, man. They decide. I can't read it. I can't control it. You know what I mean? Damn, we're actually doing it. We are actually trying to do this. Wow. That reclaim. The amount of patience we need here is it's unheard of. Absolutely unheard of today. All right, 5 minutes yes, 50 minutes no. Yeah, true. Futures is not there yet, right? But we're watching it very carefully. But the VWAP is, in my opinion, the key here. We're in it right now. Right now. When I say right now, we're in it right now. Can I explain the VWAP chart? Yeah, this is the actual chart. That this shows you pretty much all the orders inside of the market. So on gold, for example, we have buy orders on the left, on the right, and you have sell orders on the left, okay? If there are more sellers than buyers, it turns red. If there are more buyers than sellers, it turns green. Now, the more volume traded at a certain level, the more interesting it becomes because the more interest there was. If there is more interest at a certain level, right, and it's very one-directional, and the candle closed different, or you reclaim a certain area, right? That shows that there is what we call an absorption. It means that buyers or sellers are back in control. For example, in this case right here, to give an example, you have a lot of red. So that means in the previous hourly candle here, there was a lot more sellers than buyers. Matter of fact, 434 more sellers than buyers, right? Executed contracts. Now, more red, okay? Now, what does that mean? If this candle now closes above those sellers, that means these sellers are stuck because they're now no longer in profit. So that means we're getting absorbed. There is an absorption. Now, if this is at an important level, like it was for us, like the value area low of yesterday on the candlestick chart right here, right? Super important level for us. We say, hey, there is indeed an absorption taking place at the bottom. Okay. Now, what does that mean for us? It simply means that if we can now close above that, those sellers are invalidated. Okay. And it becomes better to go against that, which is a buy. Now, that's kind of what we were looking for, waiting for, etc. Okay. But the 15-minute has not been, has not closed above the point of control in the VWAP yet. You see, we're getting rejected at it actually right now. So nothing there yet. Nothing there yet. Okay. It is a specific buy model in this case. So that's in essence what this shows you, but like obviously there's more to it, right? I can't explain everything, but it's just like kind of like a yeah, a simple explanation. Super annoying that we're getting rejected here, that we don't reclaim it though. Like really. All right. The good thing is on futures, the POC has shifted to the downside. You see that? It has shifted. So for people that were wondering about that as well, it has shifted. It simply means if the hourly candle or the 15-minute can close above it, then we have pretty clean traction towards this area, this high. Right, that's the goal, right? That's like what we're trying to achieve now, is to see if we could trade back towards that high. After the reclaim, after the failed breakout to the downside. Ivy, I'm looking for buys from the previous weekly below volume node. Do you think that could happen too? Yeah. If price continues to drop and we get towards this area right there, then this is the next level. Yeah. This is the next stop. But it means that we have to reject here and break down again. And again, that's why we didn't buy here. Because if we can't reclaim this area, you see how important it is, guys? It's so important. It's just so important. We know how important it is, right? To reclaim it with strength, with volume. So tempting to buy earlier and to assume. But the reality is that closure is actually going to do it. How accurate are your trading strategies? I mean, what can I say? Accurate? relatively speaking, huh? Can always be better, can always improve, like no matter what. Can always get even better, but can't complain. Can always do better, right? Like I'm never trying to be too content, because that's when I start to mess up. And in the trading, you can get humbled very quickly. Very quickly. So it's better to not even consider it, not even think about it. Yeah, so we did broke above our level. Now we're pulling back into it again, as you can see. But we're getting rejected at the VWAP, like we just talked about. Okay. Second try. Keep in mind, we will have to see the hourly closure now. Okay, why? Because it's 10 minutes before the candle closure of the hourly. The last thing you want to do is entering 10 minutes before the hourly candle closes, because the new hourly candle has to make usually what? A top or bottom wick. So if we enter when the new wick develops. So yeah, that VWAP confirmation is a real thing. We know how strong it is. The point of control too. Yeah, so shall we do the analysis one more time so we understand what we were looking for and why? So number one, right? Okay, now what happened today? Today we saw a breakout. We opened the market here. We opened the market. Keep in mind, we have to wait for the hourly closure. This is why we're not stressing, because we have to wait for the hourly candle closure. Okay, so we have the value area high and value low here. We have the previous daily range, okay? Sitting right there. Now, what happened? We couldn't break above it. So we have the value area high, okay? And we have the value area low sitting right there, okay? Now, what happened today? What happened today was we couldn't break above anything. We couldn't break above the value high of yesterday and above the value low of yesterday. Okay, so what happened naturally? We started to come down and we started to push down into the value low. Now, it took some manipulation inside. A lot of people got trapped. We went up. Every time people went short, they got squeezed out, but then price came back again and it started to drop. Now, price came down Okay, now we have to pay attention. Why do we have to pay attention? We're in a ranging market. Okay, we know that we are in a ranging market. So now we have to pay a lot of attention to, yeah, the conditions here. What's happening here, okay? If you are in a ranging market, the ideal setups are the extremes. Why? Because you want to look at the extreme levels. Everything inside is usually a lot of fluff, okay? A lot of up and down, but the extremes are usually where you have two clear points of interest where you can see if the market is ready for a breakout to leave the value area of yesterday, right? Or a fake out to manipulate and to break back inside of it, okay? Now, in this case, we were waiting for price to come down because we were trending down. So price came down and it pretended it wanted to come down. It wanted to break down and then it did not, okay? It actually faked us out, or it faked to the downside, right? Why? Because there was a lack of volume. There was a lack of follow through right here, okay? There was a lack of follow through and price reclaimed the value area of yesterday, okay? Now that shows us that sellers are not willing to follow up here and to target the previous daily lows. It showed us that the manipulation here is real. And because of a lack of volume, right, and follow through, we might stay flat in the range, etc., etc., etc. Okay, now, how do we then look for the confirmation when the manipulation actually comes to fruition? Well, we also have something that we call the daily profile, okay? And this is the developing POC, or developing value area. Why? Because this is already a fact, right? The open and close is exactly done. This will never change. This develops. Now, we take this from open till close, and we said, hey, in order for us to now make sure that buyers are back in control, we need to break inside of the value area of today, predominantly the point of control, okay? And also what is a great other tool to utilize to understand who is actually in control, it is the VWAP. Also volume-based, right? Volume weighted average pricing. It shows you the average price, okay, of the session, of the day. Now, you take that with you as well. You can see we're trading below that. Sellers are still in control. If you reclaim that, okay, and we actually break above it with conviction, now we're back in a buying market, right? Now we're back in a buying condition. Now we can actually look at it, okay? And then I would say it's back in action. Buyers are potentially back into the market. Now we can actually start looking for long setups, etc., 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 etc. Okay. Now that's pretty much the confirmation that we're waiting for. Okay. It's really understanding who is in control, and this is why we didn't buy here. We only would have to buy above the VWAP, because above the point of control, the VWAP, because that is then where we could look at the continuation. Now, what is then a target? The value area high of today, for example. Now, what do you do when you take that out? You take out these like highs that are, for example, sitting there, right? And you go back to the highs again, and then you have, roughly speaking, I don't know, a 160 pip move inside of a range. Okay, it's not a big move, right? But that could then be the trade idea. Okay, and it can only happen when it actually happens, when we actually break back above that. Okay, so that is kind of the way the condition is showing us right now of what's going on. Now, when we took yesterday's trade, it was a different story, because yesterday we had something different. Yesterday we had the value area low. We actually broke above the point of control already. We were already trading above it, and then we created a break out of the value area with a lot of volume, and we decided to go long at the pullback of that when we broke out of the value area. Okay, so we went long here yesterday, and we exited at there, pretty much at the top, right? 38 is where we exited, and it went up to like 43, and we managed to get into a trade, have our TP set, and then price sold off. So we closed at the high of the day. It's a little bit different from today. Okay, a little bit different from today. Some people in the chat are like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? All that shit, all that analysis. I don't give a shit about your analysis. You know, I just want you to take trades so I can just blindly copy you. Because that's what I care about. I don't care about anything else. I don't want to learn. I want to just want to execute a 10 lot long. You know what I mean? No, but the reality is, guys, we have to sometimes watch the market and not take unnecessary trades. Especially not on a Friday when we're up for the week. So it has to make sense for us. And we can still lose a trade. Okay, that's just how it works. But at least if we lose, I didn't lose out of how do I say that? FOMO, forcing setups, taking random trades. No, it had the process. That's all that matters. In the end, for us, it's about following up, finding the process, and sticking to it every day. When do you define the range? In this case, it's the previous day. So it's 6 p.m. to 6 p.m. New York time. So you set it on New York, okay? And you just do 6 p.m. to 6 p.m. So 6 p.m. to 6 p.m. That is your range. Yeah? Okay. What is the VWAP level right now? It's sitting at the... I think it's the 80s, yeah. 88, I think. The 88. Yes. You can see how much it's struggling, which is actually a good sign. It shows that the level, it is an important level. The VWAP settings, yeah, we now have it just set on the low, okay, of the session, because we're trading below it. Yeah, 6 p.m. to 6 p.m. Correct. Okay. Now, at least look at the order flow real quick. Our hourly is still below. We do have the sellers that are here now. We are still getting rejected from the VWAP. We can't seem to break the VWAP for now. So if you can't do that, then there is no long. But this is actually beautiful because that means if you do that on the 15 and you actually close above this, then we just have exactly what we want. We have exactly what we want. Do you live stream on a daily basis? Yes. Today is a very special episode, by the way, because it is episode number 100. Okay. I have around 500 live streams on my channel, 569 to be exact. So I've been streaming for a long time. Yeah, long time. Like a long time. Okay. But this is episode number 100 since my comeback, because I had a little break. I wrote a book, The LTA Concepts Trading War Map. It's a free book that you can download. I should talk about it more. Okay. Where we talk about everything that we talk about. Okay. Everything that we talk about. All right. So you can download that book for free. But yeah, I mean, we started our journey again. And today is episode number 100. All right. No fluff since I started here on this channel. Episode number 1 to 100. No fluff. No brokers. No nothing. Brokers. Oh. Just straight up. Come on. Do you always keep the VWAP session source on the low? No, I do not. It's just right now. Okay, we're looking at the VWAP on the order flow and just it seems to be aligning the best. So that's why. I have to give some credits to Fabio Valentino for this one actually, because this exact playbook is actually the setup that he uses a lot, which is those failed break out of those manipulation value areas. So of the previous day in a ranging market. So in a balanced market, then this is exactly where the trades happen. They happen here and they happen here. They happen either at a fill breakout, okay? It is trickier to look inside and still look for long still. If you have a fill breakout and you then break above the highs, it usually leads to a much larger break. Also the other way around. If you break out and you then break the lows, it usually leads into a much larger breakdown. But sometimes you have the manipulation and you reclaim the point of control of the current day. Yeah, we have the future chart right here as well. You can see it. We're still getting rejected, guys. Aye, aye, aye. How long do we have to wait for that? Anyways, while we're waiting for this breakout, let me think about a story. Oh yeah, yesterday I was sparring. Okay, in the gym. You guys know I'm gonna prepare for a fight again. Yes, I'm back. My lower back is healed. Okay, I took what we call the BPC 157. Maybe you guys know about it. It's like magic. Especially, you know, my age, like early 30s, right? So I'm full back into training again. I went to the gym, went to like a new gym, and I started sparring like two times a week. And sometimes you have those guys. I'm not sure if you guys went to like a boxing gym before, but sometimes you have those guys, and I call them pit bulls. Okay, you know those guys? These are like those testosterone, like pit bulls guys. They're like, they come to kill. Right? They don't understand the rules of sparring, right? You're kind of playing around. You respect each other's boundaries. You see where you want to take it. You're kind of practicing your technique, etc., etc. No, they're like pit bulls, right? They want to go. They want to hit you. You know, they are these type of guys. So I was going against a guy, and he was like going at me for a long period of time, like, and he went crazy, and I hit him a couple times. He was like, he started to become red, like actually red, right? Swinging. In my gym, what we usually do with those guys, you have to punish that immediately. You have to punish that. Usually don't accept that behavior in the gym. Okay, so my suggestion is if you go into boxing and you start sparring, okay, respect each other's boundaries. I mean, it's not a real fight. You want to keep each other healthy. Well, we call them pit bulls. These guys are like, they're ready to kill. What is this treatment? I mean, I'm not a big, I don't know a lot about it. Like, but you know, I have been using some peptides for this, for my lower back. So I had some serious issues with my lower back, and I have to admit, it is magic. It was gone in a week. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was like, at first I thought it was like, how do you call that effect? You know, that you believe that it somehow is real, right? That it works because you use it. No, but it actually helped, actually worked. Yeah, placebo, sorry, placebo. Yeah, exactly. Okay, the POC has shifted. On futures, at least, I believe. Yeah, on futures and also on spot or not? No. Yeah, slightly. Okay. Yeah, the POC is shifting. We're consolidating here for a while. We're trading a lot of volume. The VWAP is holding resistance. Can we just actually break out here? It looks like we can because we have sellers at the bottom. Can we close above it? Above the 41? Unbelievable. You know, it looks promising, and then the moment it does look promising, it just reverses. It doesn't want to break it, guys. It doesn't want to break it. We know exactly what we're looking for and why we're looking at this low right here. Why we saw it was a failed breakout, but we can't break the VWAP. And if we can't do that, we can't go. I can't go long. Right? I can't go long here because the fact that it just like it could just manipulate down again. Right? We really try to avoid any precautions here in this session today. So it has to be coming from that breakout. Otherwise, we don't have the confirmation and buyers are just in control again. Well, there's one thing for sure today, guys. I'm not going to force any unnecessary trade. I'm telling you. I'm not going to do it. Okay? I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it if I don't feel like doing it. Okay? We're trying to grow our account. We're at a high. We really want to keep this account alive. We want to make sure that everything that we do on this account is legit right now. And the last thing that we want is to force a trade for fun. So it has to come from that. Yeah, it makes sense that we reacted from here. I mean, this is where we closed the previous hourly candle low, where more sellers entered again. So if this is the hourly flip, then this has to be the hourly flip. D says, I will hold myself for life. Really? Okay. The hourly flipped again. The POC is an issue, huh? Yeah, the VWAP too. All right, this is the last closure I'm gonna watch. I have to say that more often because then the market actually moves. I hope you guys understand why we're looking at the buy confirmation, why we just did the full analysis. I would go back into the live stream if you guys want to re-explain or you want me to explain this whole scenario, why we're looking at this area, why we're now thinking about this level, the VWAP in particular, and why we're so obsessed with this. Ooh, UberKit. Yes, you rocked it. That's exactly what we're looking at. We play in the range using the POC and VWAP as confirmation of the reclaim. Yes, sir. Well said, my friend. Well said. Are we up for the week? We are up for the week. Yeah. We had 2 wins and 1 loss. And obviously the wins were bigger than the losses. Lorenzo, just a funny question. Imagine there is no volume profile. How do you think we can trade? I mean, oof. It's a good question. It's a good question. I actually don't know any other way anymore. I just don't know. I would not know what to do. Yeah, I will probably look at the higher time of supply and demand much more, I guess. Supply and demand on the higher time frame, and then find a way to look at, yeah, balance versus unbalance, so ranges, breakouts, like certain things like that, manipulations, things like that. Yeah, just pretty much do what I would do without it, without the volume profile, kind of trying to understand what I would see here. It's a good question, man. But I would look at a range, breakout, retest, like a CRC, like a CME. I would look at, yeah, the VWAP for sure. Okay, the previous hourly low, how far is this? This is roughly speaking 100 pips, 120 pips. Stop loss break even 1-to-1. Should we get the confirmation? Yeah, this is the confirmation, right? The 50-minute close above the VWAP. You can see that the market also on the higher time frame, every time you come down, you get absorbed. So it fails to set in lows. It doesn't want to break. Finally. Still not there. VWAP is very strong, by the way. Like, if you would ask me, what is your strategy in a low volume market? I would say, especially the London session, I would say, and if you would ask me, what is the only strategy that you will use if you cannot use your own strategy, your own approach, your own system? I would say, I would scalp the VWAP in a low volume session. Yeah. I would scalp the VWAP in a low volume session if it's proven to be very strong. Why do you not trade in Asia? Asia is amazing. I mean, not today. But in general, it's very good. We love the Asian sessions. Also, for me, it's in the morning. So I stream in the morning and then I'm pretty much done. Right? And, you know, a lot of guys streamed in New York. So let your boy do the Asia. Take over the Asian game, the Asian sessions. Someone has to do it. Still can break it. Unbelievable. Look at that rejection again. PVC is moving up. It is. It's a Chinese wall. It is like a block. It can't break it. But at the same time, it wants to. It wants to, but it can't. Yeah, the PC is shifting here all the time. Let's make it a bit bigger as well so you guys can see it more clearly, but nope, we didn't. 15 minutes that's closed. We did not break it once again. We didn't break the VWAP. You would say like, how hard can it be, right? But like, apparently, very hard. And it's dropping. Oh. Oh, okay, guys. Wow. To be honest, the WW patience today, really. You can tell me whatever you want. Like I said, I'm not going to take any unnecessary trades here. I'm telling you, I'm not going to ruin it today. I am not going to ruin my account today for no reason. I'm telling you guys. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. And it rejects again from the VWAP. It rejects at the very low, it manipulates it, it fakes out, it reclaims it, but it can't reclaim the VWAP. If it can't reclaim the VWAP, buyers are not in control. So many chickens here in the chat, he says. What's his name? Sir Candledick. Okay. Anyways, we're breaking down. We are failing. Yeah. Honestly, I think it's, yeah, how can I say this? I think we saved our asses again. And I hope you see how important this confirmation is, or was, for us to be confirmed. Because if this would have been closing above with this confirmation at the bottom, which is already the manipulation, by the way, of the session, then we had around a, yeah, we had a really good move here. 200 pip move. Very clean. A $2,000 trade, at least $2,000 in that direction. But what happened here right now at the moment, right now, not being able to break the point of control, number one, and the VWAP as well here, number two. So I looked at it also on the one-night chart, of course, as well here, but just to confirm on futures, same thing. Okay. Our first step was completed. The only thing that we had to do was break above this and then shoot up. It didn't seem that hard, right? It didn't seem that hard, but yet we did not do it. We couldn't do it. To be really honest with you guys, looking at this current price action, I think we already saved you guys from many losses here, because there was a lot of chop. When the people in the chat were selling or saying sell, the market shoot up. Then they said, oh, let's buy now. Then the market dropped. Let's sell again at the bottom. Then the market went up. And then they were like, let's buy early. And now the market dropped as well. So today is a trap day. Okay. An absolute trap day. And that's why these confirmations are so clean. The confirmation comes for sure when we are in the previous daily value area. Okay. We rejected the point of control of yesterday, the previous daily point of control. That was actually a very good sell, but it was very early, right at the open, immediately, way before the stream. Okay. And price is sold off. It broke below. It's kept selling off. It manipulated. It retraced into this. We couldn't reclaim it. Okay. So did we do exactly what we wanted to see? Yes. Only thing that we didn't see or couldn't see today was the break above the VWAP right there. Okay. In my opinion, guys, I'm happy that I didn't do this. Okay. We are up for the week. Okay. Our account is sitting at an all-time high. We are almost up $18,000 since our 6K that we started with. Okay. $18,000. $18,000 profit. That is, roughly speaking, 400% in 2 months. Okay. Our goal is to get to the 100K. And I think that without that confirmation right here, that we wanted to see the break above the VWAP, which is sitting right there. We couldn't go into any trades right now, any longs, nothing, right? And simply does not do anything else besides that. I wanted just to end the week profitable and come back with you guys next week again. We won more trades than we lost. The wins were bigger than the losses this week. So I'm actually quite satisfied, to be honest. I had hoped that we would have closed above it strongly, so we could take another long today and end the week like absolute magic and pushing up higher. But in my opinion, this is going to become an absolute mess, as even for sells right now, I don't even think that it's the best moment to sell here. You know, we have a lot of absorption sitting at the bottom. There is no follow through. There is no interest from sellers so far, according to what we saw at the previous breakout right here, of pushing price further to the downside. The volume actually came down with around 50% the moment we actually did break down here. Right, the volume started to drop aggressively. That's the last thing that you want to see in a breakout, because if you don't see volume in the breakout, there is usually no follow through. And that avoided us from taking a short, because of the fact that there was no confirmation of follow through. We didn't want to short it anyways, but we knew that if there is no volume, that it's most likely going to be a fake out. It was a fake out. And the only difference that we had to see was you reclaim the VWAP, and then you turn it into support, and then you trend back up towards the value area high, right? And you trade the range of yesterday, right? We haven't broken the previous daily lows. We haven't broken the previous daily highs. The value area, the most volume was traded inside of this area. 70% of it, we're trading within it. So that is the only thing that we could have done, in my opinion. Okay? That is the only thing that we could have done. Right around there. Okay? Yeah. Okay, guys. Real trading. Growing our account. Live. With an amazing chat. Honestly, I'm extremely happy that we have probably the best chat in this on these streams. I'm not joking. The sentiment is trending upwards. I can feel it. I love the energy. I think we have to, let's be honest, we have to give a big shout out to Georgelina and also Isabella, right? My two mods, my two moderators, my two female moderators. Okay. They're definitely changing the chat. That's for sure. Okay. They're changing the sentiment of the chat. There's no doubt. No doubt about that. Shout out to them. They're amazing. Absolutely loving it. Very good. Yeah. Okay, guys. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna come back on a Monday again. Monday is giveaway day. Okay. Monday is giveaway day. We have a new giveaway planned for a Monday. I'm not gonna tell you what. I wanted to do this today, but I'm gonna do it on a Monday. Okay. Because I'm preparing some things for it. Monday giveaway day. Okay. I don't do many giveaways, but yeah, we're gonna do something. Okay. In celebration of episode number 100 of the live trading streams. Okay. If you are new and you don't know what we're doing here, we're trying to grow an account right now publicly. Okay, transparently. I am not allowed to take any trades outside of the session. So it has to come from the Asian session if I stream Asia, or whatever session I stream on YouTube. It can't be from something else. Okay, so with that in mind, that is kind of what we're doing right now. We are now up around 400% in 2 months. But we are now taking it with, now that we have around 25K on the account roughly, right? We can take it a bit easier and we don't have to take the risk. We can keep the risk relatively stable, which is good. Because I believe more in the consistency of growing an account than in, how do I say that? Aggressive scaling, because everyone can do that, right? I could do a YouTube challenge on YouTube, $100,000 to 100K aggressively with a couple of lucky trades. But that's not the way I want to do it. I want to do it consistently because I think that's much more recognizable for you. You could resonate much more to that, right? Let's be honest. So in my opinion, I think this is completely reachable right now. We are 25% or 30% there. So we just have to keep going. And yeah, not make any stupid mistakes. The big thing here on this stream is what we're trying to do. We don't care about losing trades. We care about not fucking up, okay? Not making these unnecessary stupid mistakes. That's the only thing that I could do to not blow my account, to not do something stupid, okay? Losing trades are part of the game, okay? Following a process, everything is clear, but making stupid mistakes is not allowed on this channel, okay? And how do you not make stupid mistakes? By following a process, by trading specific playbooks, okay? Things that we look at in the market, that we trust, right? Things that we know, things that we have tested, data-driven setups that we look at in order for us to actually, be consistent, right? Today was a playbook setup where you reclaim the value area, but the only rule was a reclaim of the point of control or the VWAP. That didn't happen, right? That didn't happen right there. Okay, fantastic. Cool, my friends. I'm going to see you guys on a Monday right here. I wish you an amazing weekend. All right. I will be sharing a lot more information very, very soon. For you right now at the moment, download the free book that I have created for you guys, right? Read this in the weekend, okay? Because I know you guys are all distracted by the trades throughout the week. Read this in the weekend, okay? The volume profile, learn about this, read this, so you understand what we're doing and why we're doing it, right? It gives you a good understanding. It's this book right here. You can download this completely for free with no strings attached, nothing, okay? If you are a little bit more advanced, but you're still struggling, you can join the Gold Hybrid Trading Elite. This is now only open for the next week. We're going to close by the end of next week, probably, okay? Early next week, depending on the applications. You can still apply for your spot. It takes around 5 minutes, but this is not for the beginner, and this is not for someone who is new to my channel, okay? This is someone that knows what I do and why I'm doing what I'm doing. You can apply right here, okay? You have 6 weeks of guided execution with me, 12 lectures, live streams in New York, and of course, a private one-on-one session with me to get to know each other better. I do this with every person that joins us, only for 20 people, and then we close for 8 weeks. And then you never heard me talk about it again. So this is your moment if you haven't signed up to do so. Applications will be reviewed in the weekend a lot, so then you have an answer, okay, if you apply for that. Okay, I'll put a link in the description. And that's it. For the rest, download the free book, get into my free Telegram, and yeah, that's it, man. Just learn and watch the daily live streams. Also for free every day, Monday to Friday. If I don't stream a certain day, okay, it's usually because of the market, or it's because I have something important to do, but the goal usually is 5 days a week of streaming until my challenge is completed. Okay, that is the goal, until the challenge is completed. Let's make that work. Let's make that happen. All right, amazing, fam. Have a nice day. Unfortunately, no VWAP pre-claim, but it definitely saved us from a hell of a bad trade, so we can't complain. All right, thank you. Have a good weekend. Ciao, ciao. Best chat in the world.